Do you piss? Can you do it standing up? Are you a gamer? What if, as a gamer, your piss doesn't have to go to waste? That's what a round table of Japan's brightest minds thought up in the mid-2000s. They imagined a console that begged the question, what exactly is a controller? The DualShock, pretty standard, that's a controller. Steering wheels, sure, they control the car. The N64 controller, debatable, but whatever, sure. But what about my dick? Now put yourself in the shoes of these bright young men in the mid-2000s meeting with Sega's board of directors. What you present to them could change gaming as you know it. Okay, here's the idea. Urinals are boring, but put an LCD screen on it, put a microwave gun on it, now we're onto something. You piss into the urinal, and microwaves are shot onto the stream. Then the waves bounce back into the console. The console can now gauge your piss's speed, amount, force, and the Sega executives aren't in love with the idea. What happens next is up to interpretation. However, we can assume that at some point, Sega had a change in attitude, because by the end, the idea was given the green light. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find documentation on who exactly these entrepreneurs were who came up with this idea. It's almost like most people wouldn't be too eager to be associated with the piss console. The only person I can say for sure directly contributed to this console was Mr. Hirotaka Machida, who produced Ikaruga. Let's give a round of applause for Machida-san. We're now in late 2011 Japan. The SEGA Toylet is trickling into the market, specifically public bathrooms.
Where am I?
Now keep in mind what other consoles were out in 2011. We had the Wii, Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, some of the most iconic consoles in history, and Sega just shows up with the SEGA Toylet. More than a decade after their last major console release, an absolute power move. A grand total of 8 games were released for the console, all of them controlled exclusively with your piss. There is a game called, I shit you not, Bukkake Battle Hanakara Gyunyu. Your sole goal in this game is to piss literally as hard as you can on the mark in the urinal, and do it better than the previous player. On screen though, you see 2 men sumo nose milk shooting at each other, and it's just great. There is another game, Dokitsu Bofu Keiho Hatsure, and it plays essentially the exact same. You just piss really hard. But instead of shooting milk, you control a gust of wind and blow on this weather woman's dress until it flips up. It's very classy. And then there's Nyonai Checker, which somehow features even less gameplay than the previous 2 games. You just piss. Not as hard as you can, you just do it. Then there's a cute nurse who inspects your pee. I think she checks your pee for true intentions. Also, the vial you pee into is shaped like a ding-dong. This next one's my favorite because the sheer amount of chaos it caused. It's called Graffiti Eraser, and I couldn't find any footage or screenshots of it. I suspect this is because the game was pulled from production early on, for reasons I'll go over in a second. But it was the only game on the SEGA Toylet that actually required you to move your stream of piss, as in aim it back and forth. You controlled a pressure washer and cleaned graffiti off a wall. You basically had to aim back and forth to get it all off. The problem was, you had to look at the screen to actually know where to aim. And because of this, it was a common problem for the player to just piss outside of the urinal and like all over the floor. Probably one of my favorite oversights in gaming. Nintendo might have broken thousands of TVs because of thrown Wiimotes. But Sega stained countless bathroom floors across Japan with gamer piss.